demons in the White House is like the saying that could just sum all this up, because we know that Satan is the puppet master. The Bible says that Satan is the god of this world and he has blinded the minds of the masses. It says that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the powers of the darkness of this age, against this world. We are not messing with physical people. These are puppets for Satan that are running the White House, that are running the world. And if that sounds crazy to you, we're going to get into it. We're going to prove that so that you guys can see that for yourself. This is from the New York Times. It says, Trump posted a picture of himself as Jesus. Now he's trying to explain it away. The image showed President Trump bathed in divine light and clad in religious robes. His interpretation was that the image depicted him as a doctor, not Jesus Christ. And I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, if you look at this picture, this was officially on Donald Trump's social media. You can see it up here. It has since been deleted because of all the flack he's been getting. If you replace that face with long hair and a beard, people would automatically assume that's Jesus just because of the attire. He's placing his hand on a person in a hospital bed, and there's rays of light. You can see in his hand there's rays of light, and there's even a woman praying and people kind of looking up to him. There's a military man looking up to him. A lot of people are talking about this thing in the background. It looks like flying soldiers in the sky, but this looks like a straight up demon. There is some fake news out there. I fact checked it. They said this is from a book, and they gave a title and they show the cover of the book. I thought, well, the book looks like an AI generated image anyway. I looked it up. I can't find that any book exists. So if you see that post, don't share that stuff. You know, we should be trying to fact check everything before we share it, because we're muddying up the waters in the truth community. There's sometimes I'll share something and I'll say, hey, I'm not sure if it's true or not. Please find it for me when I'm jumping on something really early. But this was easy enough to search and see if this book existed. So here's the picture. Donald Trump looking like Jesus, and all these memes are being made, all these jokes, like Trump wearing this outfit, and they're saying, the doctors are saying, sir, can we help you? He says, no, I work here. So they're making fun of the fact that he said that he looked like a doctor. You're starting to see these like Halloween costumes come out that say doctor, but you can tell obviously it's Jesus robes, and they're making a joke about saying it was a doctor. What I think is interesting is that it might not be Jesus. It might be the magician from the tarot card. You can see the outfit looks identical, and the reason I think that this really could be it is because there's a lot of illusions that Trump is a witch, that he is a warlock, a magician. Even the word MAGA means witch in the dictionary. It says, in stories, a woman who has magical powers. And here, this is on Wisdom Library. It's Sanskrit dictionary. And it says MAGA, a magician, a priest of the sun, a priest. This is interesting. So not just a magician, but a priest of the sun. We know in the last days, there's going to be a push towards a one world religion that pushes people towards sun worship by force. And here you see a priest of the sun is the word MAGA. And that happens to be his slogan. At the bottom here, it says, a magician, a priest of the sun. Here you see that in Italian, Latin, and Polish, the word MAGA means sorceress, witch, magician. So this is, we're starting to see a connection between what he's wearing and this tarot card that shows the magician with a pentagram and a sword and a chalice, getting ready to do some ritual. Now, is it coincidence that Trump is the one that started this war, right? That he's initiating World War III, that there's a rocket named Artemis, and Artemis happens to be a goddess of sacrifice. I think all these things go together. I might be losing people with that, but I don't believe that there are accidents with these people. I think that so much of this stuff is orchestrated. You see the numerology that they're into, the names. Why is it called Artemis, a goddess of sacrifice? Here he is wearing this magician robes that happens to match up with the tarot card. And so it's making me think of this verse right here in Revelation 18:23. It says, in the highlighted section, it says, "For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived." Now, when you look up that word sorcery in the Greek, you're going to find that it's the word pharmakia. It's where we get the word pharmaceuticals from. So it's interesting that he said, I thought that this was me as a doctor. What kind of doctor? A sorcery? See, we're talking about the pharmakia sorcery, the magic, the magicians. These are the people who are the merchants of the world. Trump's one of the most wealthiest men on this earth. And here you see this image of him in the robes of the magician. I'm starting to believe that there's no coincidences in this thing. Now, there's a magazine called The Economist, and their covers often predict things for that year. Every year they have a cover with, it's always like a collage, and when you look at that collage, you see things that are like predictive programming. Like in this one, the world ahead for 2025. We talked about this on another show, but when you look in here, you see a vaccine, you see a all-seeing eye with nuclear bomb or a nuclear symbol. You see Saturn. There was a lot of Saturn worship at Trump's inauguration. His wife's hat was wearing the Saturn hat. There was a lot of stuff. We have a whole video on that. I'm not going to dig into all that stuff. You guys need to check it out. Like a lot of these videos that we've done the past year is really talking about this stuff. It's really significant to what's going on right now. And then The Economist 2026, you see nuclear bombs. You see the Artemis rocket right here. You see the 250th anniversary of our country. There's two pennies here. I think that might allude to the penny being dissolved away, eliminating the penny. I can't say that I know what all these things are. I haven't really had time to look at all the details. I just wanted to show you that this magazine is often really accurate with its cover. And when you look at the cover for 2017, what was it showing? It says right here, Planet Trump. Planet Trump. And when you look at these tarot cards, isn't that interesting? Tarot cards, you will see it says the Tower. You see Christ on the cross back here and a communist flag. You see Judgment, and Trump is holding a staff and this holy bomb. I don't remember what they call it, but that's what the Pope holds often. The world, you're seeing some stuff here. You see all the different media. You see the arts and theater and books. And it's basically showing you, I think, the connection of the whole world. The Hermit, I can't say I know what that is, but this is the part I want you to see. Why was this on here? I mean, literally right below the picture of Trump, and it says Planet Trump, and you see the magician. So is it like coincidence that suddenly now he's posting this image of him wearing the attire of the magician? He's placing his hand on a dying man wearing these robes of the magician. The sorcerers are those who rule the world. Pharmakia sorcery. Marina Abramovic, she's this Satan-worshipping witch of a woman, and she said some interesting things in these interviews. I want to show you. This is a 1-minute clip. Listen carefully.
You know, I just to share with you one really funny opinion. But there is in Lapland, there is a group of the shamans there who do something called collective dreaming.
She said shamans. There's a group of shamans that do something called collective dreaming. Okay, listen to this.
They will go together in seclusion and do the rituals with, eating very little food and being in a solitude for a long time. And they will go and dream the dreams. And the dream have to be collective, same dream. So coming out of this dream, the shaman told me that actually the best thing happened in this planet right now is the Trump to be the president. I said, how is this possible? It's the best thing to happen. He said, yes, because he's so irrational, he's so crazy. That's actually create that awakening, that we finally wake up. Because before it will be another guy and everything looks similar. But he's so different than anything else. So he's the magician who waking us up. What do you think about that? That kind of theory.
Is this all just coincidental or is it prophetic? She said that these shamans had a collective dream that Trump becoming president is the best thing that can ever happen because he's so chaotic that it will wake us up. I mean, that's crazy to me because these people operate out of order, out of chaos. Now, she's saying that he's a magician, that he operates out of chaos, and that it'll cause people to wake up, meaning I believe that we're going to wake up and say, we need change, something's got to happen in this world, and we will run to New World Order. We'll say we need some kind of order because this place has been chaos forever, and guess what? Satan's got a plan. He's got his puppets to come out and bring in the New World Order that's going to look like peace and safety. It's going to look so good. Believe me, when you see the Pope come out and say, all I want is peace, that's what's happening right now. All of MAGA is turning their back on Trump, and people are defending the Pope, even the liberals. We're going to get into this. I got more to show you guys. Here's another clip from the same satanic lady. Listen to what she said.
But look at these two guys, Trump with Kim Jong. They're two lunatics, completely horrible human beings, corrupted, and you know, we don't like them because there are lots of good reasons not to like them. I just talked to I was in Rome 2 days ago, and I met one shaman woman from the north of Norway. So this woman told me 3 days ago that the Trump is the best thing happened ever to us. Because she believed, not her, but the entire population of this Nordic magician, that he is the magician of the highest order. That he is there in his irrational mind to create confusion in order that the human being can find new order. And it's also stupid. Thinking about this in that way. It's completely turning things.
You heard that, right? To find order. He's the magician of the highest order. He's going to bring about order. Listen to this.
Upside down.
I'm going to back it up.
Because to create confusion in order that the human being can find new order. And it's also stupid. Thinking about this in that way. It's completely turning things upside down. Because since Trump is around, things are changing. Because we are waking up.
Remember, he's a magician of the highest order, MAGA, to bring about chaos, to wake us up, to bring about order. It's insane. This is how these people operate. And they're telling us right to our faces, this stuff is right out in the open in interviews. And this is blowing my mind. So all this stuff is coming to pass. And you know what? God really opened my eyes to something because I kind of thought that things were going to go a certain way. I thought Trump was going to be the one to really bring our country back to God, and it was going to be this false Christianity that he was going to bring back with Christian nationalism, and everybody's going to embrace it because everything was so woke and chaotic, and he's going to get rid of the woke, and everybody's like cheering on, and that really happened. But I thought that it was going to keep going that direction, and he was going to embrace with the Pope, and it was going to be, because the Bible talks about, in Revelation, it talks about how America and Rome are going to unite together, and they're going to form this one world religion. So I really thought that was how this was going to go. But then one day, a year ago, like an instant download, I believe the Holy Spirit impressed me that Trump was going to be set up as a false Antichrist. And I'm going to show you that clip. I'm going to show you where I started talking about this a year ago, and now I'm seeing it happen, and it's blowing my mind right now because Donald Trump actually started going off on all his people, like his MAGA crew, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and he just started blasting on him. And now they're turning on him because they're saying, why are you even in this war? Like, why can't we just have peace? And so you see Candace Owens, man, she used to be all about some Trump. Now listen to what she's saying now.
Trump is very clearly under demonic influence. I think Paula White probably put a spell on him of some sort. I mean, he is surrounded by, ironically, the very thing that he accuses me and Megyn and Tucker of being, because we're calling for peace.
Isn't that crazy? So she just said that she thinks he's under a demonic influence. And then here's Tucker Carlson. You know, these guys are buds. And Candace Owens has nearly 6 million subscribers. So she has a very loud voice in the community. And Tucker Carlson has 5.5 million subscribers. And listen to what he just said.
This isn't so much a couple of memes. These are icons. This is iconography. These are attempts to send a statement about faith. What statement is the president sending? Well, not a coherent one. Doesn't actually add up to a theology. It's mockery. He's mocking Jesus. He's making fun of Christianity. The central figure of the religion is being held up for mockery, of course. And his description of how this got out is itself mockery of the idea of truth. One day he says, yeah, I did it. Next day he says, no, I didn't do it. Both are on video. That's not really a lie. It's more than a lie. It's bigger than a lie. It's an attack not just on a specific set of facts. It's an attack on the idea that there are facts. It's an attack on truth. Openly. No one's hiding this.
In the background of Tucker Carlson, you can see a poster that says Fatima. I've always been curious, why does he have this poster that says Fatima? Because Fatima was an event or a place or something. It was a historical event that happened in the Catholic faith where 3 children, shepherd children, saw an apparition of Mary, and thousands of people saw this as well. And there was like miracles that happened. People were healed. The rain stopped supernaturally. The sun danced around. All kinds of stuff. And I'm like, why does he have this word Fatima in the background? I feel like that's like this subliminal product placement for the Catholic Church. And I don't think that Tucker Carlson claims to be a Catholic. In fact, he wears the red thread on his wrist of Kabbalah. So I don't know where this guy stands. I don't trust any of these people. But what I'm saying is that these are the loudest voices in our world today. So when they say something, people listen. And they're starting to say, Trump's demonically possessed. Trump's the Antichrist. He's blasphemous. We need to turn against him. And so I started asking Google, like, how many people are saying that Trump is the Antichrist? And Marjorie Taylor Greene, who worked for Trump, says the former congresswoman reportedly stated in April 2026, this month, that Trump's posting of an AI image showing him as Jesus-like was more than blasphemy and constituted as an antichrist spirit. Clint Russell, I don't even know who that is, host of right-wing Liberty Lockdown podcast, who stated in April 2026, this month again, that he had gone from hesitantly voting for Trump to thinking there is a decent chance he's the Antichrist. Marina Purkis, a British television pundit, who publicly described the president as the Antichrist after he posted an AI image of himself as Jesus. You get the point. Even Jack White from the White Stripes frontman compared Trump to the Antichrist in an Instagram post following the same AI image controversy in April 2026. I mean, as far as I know, Jack White doesn't claim at all to be a Christian, and yet he saw this post and thought this guy could be the Antichrist. Pretty interesting that this keeps popping up. Now, this is the type of stuff we're starting to see in the news, is this whole Trump versus Pope thing. It says president erupts at Pope and draws a backlash. Analysis how Trump versus Pope Leo could impact elections. Where's the Pope? How's the Pope getting sucked into this? This was a a post by Trump that everybody's starting to say it's distasteful, it's blasphemous, you're the Antichrist. How the Pope get sucked into this? We're talking about somebody in the Vatican, Rome. What does he got to do with America? A lot. When you look into Bible prophecy, I want you guys to watch the videos that we have in the past. Scroll back through our old stuff and watch videos like the mark of the beast is not a chip. You will find out who the Antichrist is. The woman that sits on the scarlet harlot that sits on the beast with 7 heads. The Bible says that the 7 heads are 7 mountains or 7 hills. And when you look up, just Google, what is the city of 7 hills? Boom, it'll tell you Rome. And then you find out that a woman represents a church, but this is a harlot. So this is a corrupt church sitting on the city of Rome, which would make it the Vatican, right? There's so many things that point to Vatican papacy being the Antichrist system. And we go through all that stuff in that video. But there's going to be a connection with America, the second beast, uniting or pointing all people to worship the first beast, Rome. There's going to be a connection where they form a one world religion that's enforced by law. And it says right here, Pope Leo for president? Meeting with Obama guru sparks speculation. Now they're starting to talk about, look, Pope Leo's secret meeting fuels presidential speculation. Eligibility would depend. Like, there's actually starting to be some talk of the Pope of Rome being our president. And he just happens to be the first American Pope ever. So I've known since 2012 that America and Rome were going to unite. But when I saw that we had an American Pope, I was like, this was a turn I didn't expect. And now they're talking about him being the president and that our current president is the Antichrist. This is all very important. And I'm going to show you the video from a year ago because God helped me see that this is going to be how this works. That Satan is playing both sides. He is the puppet master. All these people are pawns in the game, and he's setting up the stage right now for Satan to appear as Christ. And how can Satan appear as Christ? He has to overthrow a fake Antichrist. We're going to go into that. Trump attacks Pope Leo as too liberal and weak on crime. So that's how the Pope got dragged into this. Trump started attacking him because the Pope was saying, hey, we want peace. Why can't we just have peace? And Trump's like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's too weak and liberal. And so here's the USA Today saying Pope Leo for president, meeting with Obama guru sparks speculation. This video was streamed in February 26, 2025. It's only 20 minutes. I'm going to run this as the ending of this thing because over a year ago, God opened up my eyes to something that I didn't see before. And it happened in a moment on a live stream. We were talking about Trump, but we were talking about how Trump was going to work with the Pope and how all this stuff was going to go down. And in a moment, it was like, wait a minute. What if Trump is actually going to be set up as some kind of decoy Antichrist? And this is going to go totally different than we expected. And now, over a year later, we're starting to see the fulfillment of this, that all those who voted for him are starting to say, wait a minute, I think we just voted for the Antichrist. All right, guys, I want you to just check this out. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us at Candid Truth. We're going to talk about the truth, and we're going to get candid with it. There was a lot of Christian people, right-wing people that thought Trump, he's the Messiah. He's going to come. He's going to change the world. He's going to make America great again. And I think they're in for a wake-up call. When you look at what Trump just posted today, people are starting to ask questions. This is Trump's official Instagram. And if you haven't watched this video, prepare to be shocked. This is live. I'm not censoring the comment section that's on Instagram, but we're going to look at the comment section because it's pretty crazy that even Trump fans are saying, I should have voted for Kamala. Like, people are starting to have a change of heart about Trump, and it's only February. So what is up with all the golden idol stuff of Trump? There's a video, if you haven't checked it out, on Candid Truth. Check it out. It says, the deception is greater than we thought, and it has Trump on there. It shows the golden calf. It shows all his fans with the patch on their ear, showing that they are idolizing this guy. they're just being deceived. Trump is a pawn. He is another puppet in the whole game. And I want to show you just some of these comments in the comment section. I'll try to expand on these. But it says, this has to be the most disrespectful and tone-deaf thing a president could do. 111,000 likes on it. Now, remember, everybody right now is kind of liking Trump. Even the people that used to not like Trump are now liking Trump. So this isn't just like the haters when he was in the first term. This says, this video is truly horrifying. They are dancing and celebrating over the bodies of innocent children. This is crazy. As a Trump supporter, horrible post. Trump supporters are now saying, like, we regret voting for you. Look, okay, maybe I should have voted for Kamala. Somebody says, I'm a Trump supporter, and what the is this? Crazy. This is the worst thing I've seen on the internet all year. Trump, I voted for you to have a better economy, better laws, and take care of our country. Stay focused on the future and our nation. I don't create obstacles, blah, blah. Obviously, he does not like this either. WTF is this, somebody says. How does a sitting president post something like this? And everybody's just going off on this. And notice it says right here, comments on this post have been limited. I don't know if that's set by Trump, set by Instagram, or what, but things are starting to get a little weird. So I have a hypothesis. This is something that I said a week ago and again last night before this video came out. I want to show you my hypothesis because I believe that Satan is so cunning and crafty and deceptive that we're all like being misdirected by the magician, by the sorcerers. And these people, this is the Hegelian dialect. They play both sides. They're playing left and right. They're playing red and blue. They're playing Republican, Democrat. Satan is playing good cop, bad cop. And while he's getting your attention over here, he's doing something else over here. It's sleight of hand. So I'm going to play a clip from a week ago on our stream, and I want you to hear what I say here. We know Satan plays both sides. What if all this is purposeful to make Trump look like the Antichrist? Literally, because if, like you're saying, dispensationalists, they're looking for who is the one that was wounded and had a deadly wound and was healed. You know, Trump supposedly got shot. He's on the coin of Israel. He's going to make a covenant. He's talking about peace and safety. What if all eyes go to Trump? He is him. He's the Antichrist. He fits everything. Then the true Antichrist comes, which is Satan. Mm-hmm. Satan is going to appear. What we're waiting for before Christ returns is Satan to manifest in our world as a cosmic savior, a supernatural being, more deceptive than Trump ever could be, more deceptive than the Pope ever could be, more deceptive than any human being could ever be, because now you're talking about an angel of light who's doing signs and wonders and miracles and healing the world and getting rid of pandemics and stopping natural disasters, quote unquote natural disasters, and wars and all these things. What if he comes and kills Trump, the Antichrist, and everybody's like, this is Jesus, this supernatural being that literally killed the one-man Antichrist that we've been looking for. So this is crazy, because the way I understand prophecy, I do not believe that we are looking for a one-man Antichrist. I don't believe that. All these Left Behind movies, all the mainstream Christianity after the Counter-Reformation, or after the Reformation, the Counter-Reformation came, and they were trying to misdirect people from seeing that the Roman Catholic Church, the papacy, the Roman Empire is the Antichrist system. When you see the word Antichrist in the Bible, it's always plural. It says there are many Antichrist, even now, the Antichrist spirit. It's never pointing out to a one-man ruler, and I believe it's positions. People are disposable. Even if Pope Francis is in the seat now, in a year, he could not be in the seat. So you can't point at Pope Francis and say he's the Antichrist, because someone can take his place. But whoever is in the position, whoever's sitting in that seat saying, I am Christ on earth, I am God on, where is that crown that says, Vicarious Fele Dei, which means the substitute of Christ on earth. They are Antichrist, and the whole system is Antichrist. But I believe that there's tons of propaganda out there, this counter-Reformation propaganda that says, no, we're looking for a one man in the future, some political leader that's charismatic and does all these things. Well, first I want to show you this clip where I said this last night on Brad's stream on Strange Normal. I think Satan has got this whole thing, man. It's a puppet show. He plays both sides. The Hegelian dialect. It's a sleight of hand. It's misdirection. Because what I think is everybody's going to at first think Trump's awesome. Like, man, things are changing. Things are great, actually. Things are going better. Gas is better. Mm-hmm. He's getting rid of all the woke stuff and all this stuff. But then they're going to start recognizing, wait a minute, he's hand in hand with Elon, who wants to microchip our brains. He is... Okay, so you get the point. Now check this out. So I just asked ChatGPT what is basically the mainstream idea of what the markers are for the Antichrist. Check this out. It says, he will rise from a revived Roman Empire. That's in Daniel 9:26 or 27. Now, I don't agree with everything this is going to say. I'm just telling you what the majority of the Christian world believes. That's the whole point. That's why it's so important to understand prophecy, to know that we're going to be here during the tribulation. We're not going to be raptured out of here. That all kinds of stuff. That the Antichrist is not one man, but a system. And that Satan is going to come on the scenes as Christ, as a cosmic Christ. He's going to be doing lying signs and wonders, miracle working demons. He's going to have supernatural power to bring down fire from heaven and all these things. How are we going to be able to resist something that powerful? We've never been faced with a supernatural being who's basically like a superhero and can do everything from healings. If you don't believe Satan can heal, go talk to a New Ager who's doing Reiki and crystal healing, all this stuff. Satan has crazy amount of power that he can do lying signs and wonders. He can put an ailment on somebody, remove that ailment, and now they've been healed, quote unquote healed, right? So this is going to be a being that is supernatural and is going to end the Antichrist reign. But this is what I think. This is what I believe. Satan is in control of everything. This is his world. He's the God of this world. He's working through the governments of this system. It says we battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against the powers and the rulers of the darkness of this age, of this world. So he's putting all the people in place, preparing them to bring about one world religion, one world government, the new world order. So Trump is just a pawn. He's a player in the game. Now, all the Christians are looking for a one-man Antichrist before Christ returns. So Satan cannot come, if he's going to really deceive the world, he can't just come as Christ right now, because he would be going ahead of the game, right? Christians are all looking for an Antichrist. So Satan can't step out on the scenes as Christ yet, because we're still looking for an Antichrist. Get it? If he came out on the scene right now as Christ, we would all say, wait a minute, this isn't Christ. This is the Antichrist, because the Antichrist has to come first. So Satan is going to set up a fake Antichrist. You hear this? And it's going to be obvious, it's going to match all the markers that people are looking for in the understanding they have of prophecy. So it says right here that he'll confirm a 7-year covenant with Israel. Well, I think that's very interesting, because it says Israel group mints Trump coin to honor Jerusalem. Trump is on a coin for Jerusalem, for Israel, and his face is right there by King Cyrus. Why is an American president on a coin for Israel? So here's marker number 1. People are going to be like, wait a minute. See, everybody's going to embrace him at first. They're going to embrace Trump and say, look, he's getting rid of everything. This is great. But then they're going to say, wait a minute, we've been deceived by the Antichrist. Wait a minute. He's matching all the markers. It says he will break the covenant at midpoint, so we haven't got there yet. He will be a charismatic political leader promising peace. Okay. Is Trump a charismatic leader? Yeah. Is he, his fans are idolizing him. Put a patch on your ear and all this stuff, right? He's charismatic and he's making these funny tweets and all that kind of stuff. Now, what did Trump say?
We have before us a rare opportunity to bring security and stability and peace to this region and to its people.
Okay, security and peace is what he said, right? And what does the Bible say? 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So Trump is openly fulfilling these prophecies that all Christians are looking for in the Antichrist that we know is supposed to come before the true Christ. And so Satan, who's going to appear as a supernatural being and wants to deceive the world into thinking that he's Christ, has to set up a fake, false Antichrist decoy first. And it's all lining up. He will suffer a fatal head wound and be revived. Okay? Maybe I'm grasping here, reaching at straws, but and I don't even believe this. So I'm not even falling for this ketchup pack on the ear that was literally not even a scab a week later when he's on TV. He's like, oh yeah, I'm a fast healer, real fast healer. Dude, I have zits that last longer than this guy's assault rifle ear wound. But either way, he's been an attempted assassination on him more than once, twice within a year's time. And that's when they really idolized him like a messiah. Like, yeah, God's protecting him. Look, he survived assassination attempt. So maybe I'm reaching with this whole deadly wound that he revives from a fatal wound, but even that is close. Then it says, he will claim to be God and demand worship. He'll claim to be God. All right. What do we see here? Literally the golden idol. Like the video I did a month or two ago, whenever it was, when it says the deception is greater than we thought, and it shows Trump with a golden calf and everybody idolizing him with the patch on their ear. I had no clue that he was going to release a video showing him as a golden image. Remember, there's going to be an image to the beast. All people must bow before the image of the beast, just like Nebuchadnezzar, right? And then here it shows that in shops, he's going to have little idols be sold. Dude, this is crazy. If anyone is fitting the markers of what mainstream Christians believe about the Antichrist, it's Trump. He's even the last Trump. People have put that together too, like that Christ is going to return at the last Trump. Christianity doesn't have a proper understanding of who the beast is. They think the beast is a person, a one-man person, and they've always been looking for him as an American president. Is it Obama? His name means lightning from heaven and all this stuff. They've been looking for this. Christians' attention is looking for a one-man Antichrist, and they're looking for all these markers. And Trump just happens to be fulfilling these markers. It says he will have a global government and economic control. Ooh, okay. He's going to have a global government and economic control. Look at this. What does this say? It's Trump's world. European leaders divided on how to navigate this cacophony. I don't even know how to say that. Cacophony. It's Trump's world. This is just one article. Trump, why does an American president, Trump, travel all around the world giving speeches? Jerusalem has his face on their coin. Trump, Gaza, he's going to turn Gaza into this like tourist attraction. He will be empowered by Satan, and he will persecute Christians and Jews. He will be empowered by Satan. Who's his right-hand man? Trump's right-hand man is Elon Musk, who wants to microchip your brain And what are all Christians looking for? They're looking for a mark that you take in your hand or in your forehead. And they think it's a microchip. I don't believe that. I believe that the mark of the beast, Revelation is all symbolic. Every prophecy that God gave to man, it was symbolic. Joseph had a dream about stars bowing down to stars and stalks of wheat bowing down to wheat. And Nebuchadnezzar had a dream about an image, and it was about kingdoms. Daniel had a dream about beasts rising out of the sea, and it was about kingdoms. Peter had a vision about a sheep being let down with unclean animals, and it had nothing to do with eating unclean animals. Peter even said, I don't even know what this means, Lord. I haven't eaten anything unclean. What does this mean? And when you keep reading, people don't like to know this truth, but when you keep reading, the whole vision was about do not call any Gentile unclean. It was all about stop judging the Gentiles. They're grafted in. So, and when you look at Revelation, there's not really going to be a woman, a harlot, riding on a 7-headed beast, drinking blood. That's not, it's symbolic. A woman standing on the moon, clothed with the sun. This is all symbolic. So Israel is symbolic. We are Israel. There's neither Jew nor Greek. We're all one in Christ Jesus. So when you see Israel in the book of Revelation, it's talking about believers. When you see Babylon in Revelation, Babylon doesn't even exist anymore, but it's a symbol or a sign of the wicked. God's people are going to have a seal in their foreheads. Do you think that's a literal seal? No. I don't know any Christian that believes that we're going to be literally having a seal in our forehead. But for some reason, they say that the mark of the beast, oh, that's definitely physical, definitely literal and physical. But it's not. It's all about worship. He's going to cause the world to worship the beast in his beliefs, in his mind, or in the works of his hand. You can take the mark of the beast in your mind or in your hand. If you believe the system, you took it in your mind. You believe it. If you don't believe it, but you're going to do it anyway, like bowing to the image instead of saying, throw me in the fire furnace. If you simply bow your body, you bow to the beast, but you don't believe in it, you're taking it in the hand, the works of the hand. You can receive the mark of the beast two ways. You can only receive the mark of God, the sign of God, in your mind, because it's all about belief. His right-hand man is the dude that wants to microchip your brain. And Trump is unrolling Stargate. Stargate is a worldwide surveillance system that's 24-hour surveillance by AI technology. No human has to watch anymore. And the guy who started this, who owns Oracle, the company Oracle, Larry Ellison, said people will behave, they'll be on their best behavior when they're being monitored 24/7 by AI. This is the dystopian world that we are about to enter. Actually, Trump calls it the golden age. And if you look into what the golden age is, this is what all the occultists, all the esoteric writers like Alice Bailey and some of those other people said is the age of Aquarius. This is what the New Age movement has been looking forward to, and they predicted that it would be in 2025. Alice Bailey said that in 2025, there would be the externalization of the hierarchy, meaning there would be an external manifestation of fallen angels, demons among our world. And what are we seeing today? Quote unquote drones everywhere. We're seeing the military say that we communicate with non-human intelligences. First, they said we see UFOs every day. Then they said we're communicating with them. Now they're picking up crafts that look like eggs. And we're going to do a show on what does that mean? What symbolically is, where is all this going? According to the esoteric writings with the egg and people talking to these divine feminine beings, this is all part of the big plan. Satan's final deception. I don't know where you guys stand on this issue. I hope this is eye-opening for you. But I truly believe that Satan right now is setting up the false Antichrist, and it's Trump. And right now he's fitting all the markers. And because of this video, this is the start of people who even voted for him saying, I wish I would have never voted for you. And I'm starting to see something in you that I don't like. And people are starting to put the pieces together. And I think more and more people are going to start calling him out as the Antichrist. And when he's identified as the Antichrist, the stage is being set for Satan to appear as the cosmic Christ, a supernatural being who's going to put an end to what Trump is doing, whether that's to put an end to Trump or his system or whatever, but then he's going to unroll this false system of peace and safety and a revival. What looks like a true revival, but it's really a coexist, one world religion. And if you stand on truth, thus saith the Lord, the 10 commandments, if you do not budge from what God says in his 10 commandments, you will be public enemy number one. You will be locked away. You will be persecuted. And finally, you will be beheaded because you are a discordant note in this perfect utopia of a coexist one world religion. And you're just some extremist zealot that needs to be put away because you're causing chaos in our perfect world. That's what's soon to come. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this was eye-opening. You know, I'm starting to see that people are going towards Pope Leo, like even liberal people, because Pope Leo is a LGBTQ advocate. He's standing up for peace and all these things. But remember what the Bible says. When he says peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them. And that's what we're going to see. But we know that all the world is going to wander after the beast. Wonder after the beast. That John was fixated on the harlot, the Vatican, and all the world is going to wonder after her. This is soon to happen. I see it happening right now with this whole Pope Leo thing. The first American Pope. Prophecy is coming true. If you guys believe it, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps this video get out into the algorithm. We love you. We thank you. We cannot do this without you. If you'd like to support this ministry, you can do so by going to CandidTruthOrg. We got Cashapp, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, and Patreon. If you like cool merch, we got t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, all kinds of stuff. We get about $5 per sale on this. It really helps to keep this ministry going. And if you have been giving to this ministry, we see you. We love you. We try to contact you guys every time you send a donation. Some apps like Zelle and Cashapp won't let us really give a message. But we want to tell you thank you. We love you. We cannot do this without you. And we'll see you next time on Candid Truth.